And we are live. What is up, everyone? I hope all is well. I hope everyone is being productive, and I hope everyone's grinding it out. My name is Jorge Luis Quintero, aka El Chief. And welcome to another episode of Quintero o Dinero, the fastest growing, greatest podcast in the world. We are live in the beautiful city of San Antonio, Texas, where it is hot right now. But it is not as hot as the Middle East, so shout out to my friends in the Middle East supporting Quintero o Dinero, especially my homies back at home in Saudi Arabia, Muhammad, even though there's a lot of Muhammads, so I got to be more detailed as to which one. But back to the podcast. I've got a very special episode for you all today. Even though every episode is special, this episode is specifically special to me because it hits right at home. So I'm going to give you all a quick story. Back in early May, I had just graduated my master's. And instead of going to my ceremony, I flew back to El Paso, where I was born and raised. And I met up with my brother where we were taking a trip to Colombia, where my dad's from. So my brother and I were able to go to the homeland, Colombia. Visited Medellin, Bogota, Cartagena, Barranquilla, and the last spot, Valledupar, where my dad's from. He's a Vallenato. And we were in Valledupar. During that time in Colombia, I was having a great time. Like, it was awesome. But at the same time, too, I was thinking so much. Because, when you graduate, you're thinking, what am I going to do next? What's next? What's next for me? Not only that, but what still needed to be done. Because there's some projects that I still need to finish, even though I'm in vacation in Colombia. So I'm creating a turbulence in my mind, right, of what's going to happen next. What am I supposed to do right now? What am I going to do right now? And I was creating a lot of this turbulence. At the same time, too, I also know what I needed to do. I also knew what needed to be done, but I wasn't doing it. And then it wasn't until our second day in Valledupar, we were talking to my uncle, Tío Merio. Shout out to Tío Merio. And he had said something. He goes, si no lo vas a hacer ahora, no lo vas a hacer mañana. Which means, if you're not going to do it today, you won't do it tomorrow. And when he told me that, it is what I needed to hear at that moment, at that time. If you're not going to do it today, you won't do it tomorrow. And that's the truth. Because, think about it. We as humans, and me too, we tend to overthink things. And through my experiences, when you overthink things, you start delaying the process of what you want to do, of what you want to act upon. You're also wasting time. There's a quote that goes like this. You waste more time overthinking on making the decision than making the wrong decision. Now, it's okay to make the wrong decision. As long as we learn from it, as long as we learn from those mistakes. In other words, it's okay to fuck up. But you need to learn from those mistakes. You need to learn from those mistakes so it won't happen again. So how does that happen? Well, one, you see what went wrong. You start dissecting the problem. Then you find the solution. When you find the solution, then you begin to refine and polish and craft the skills of what you want to accomplish or whatever you're working on. Whatever it is you're working on, whatever is the decision that you made, you start refining it so that mistake doesn't happen again. And then when you finally craft it and find the solution, then you begin to you can begin to teach it and teach it to others. And that's what mistakes are for, right? Mistakes are lessons learned so we can craft them, perfect them, and teach them so we can minimize mistakes. It's the root of all creation, literally. It's a root of growth is mistakes. And think about it like this. I'm not a big fan of LeBron James, but it took 3 finals appearances to win his first finals appearance. And now he's got 4. He's got 4 rings, but the first 2 he didn't win. There was mistakes. But I'm pretty sure he observed those mistakes and he learned from the mistakes and he crafted those mistakes, refined them, polished them, gained the momentum and taught it to his teammates. But at the end of the day, there's always going to be mistakes. Now, here's another thing. If you have an idea and it's in your mind and it's fresh, act on it now. Write it down. Do something. Work towards it So tomorrow you have something to work on, and you start building momentum. That's important, is to start building momentum, because we're all full of ideas. We all have great ideas, but if you don't do it, someone else will do it. So act on it, because the longer you wait on acting on something, well, then again, you delay the process, one, but two, you begin suppressing yourself. You begin suppressing your ideas. You begin to suppress the mind. And when you suppress the mind, you suppress your creativity. You suppress your potential. And after that, then it's gone. And it's onto something else. But what you could have done, it began to torture you. And now it's just nothing. So you wasted all that time and imagination on nothing. All it created was disturbance in the mind, turbulence. So if you have something in mind, act on it, write it down, work towards it. I'm not saying build a restaurant the next day, no, but create the menu, create the ingredients, create something and work on it every single day. It's taken me 5 days to record this episode. I'm sorry, no. I've worked on this episode for 5 days. Every day I've recorded this episode. I made mistakes. There's things that I didn't like, but every day I've recorded myself, and that's the way I'm going to get better, is by recording myself and literally trial and error. But most importantly, when you act on it and you finally act on it, follow through. Just like in basketball, when you shoot your shot, they always tell you to follow through, because that's where you're going to see results. But when you follow through, most importantly, always do your best. All right, folks, that is all that I have for you. Thank you for tuning in to Quintero Dinero. Thank you for supporting. Keep supporting and keep grinding it out. Love you all.